Good afternoon. It's March 2nd, 2023, and today we had what turned out to be an uptrend day, but really or from 5 o'clock when we came in till I don't know 9:30, 10:15. Really, it was really hard to tell what was going on. Um, it just looked like a range with an upward bias, a range that was making higher lows because the higher highs weren't significantly higher. So it was tough to see. I originally had the channel drawn off these highs. You can see we get a touch right there. And really, I mean, I think most people were probably playing this. You can see the midline. We bounced off the midline here and just went higher. I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, this midline, that would make sense. It's off of that. So I'll leave it there. And there might be some more trades in here that I didn't see that I'm just coming to right now. But let's take a look at these. So 5 o'clock is right here about, and it looks like we're failing to go higher. But you don't get a setup for a failure. We make a higher high right here. Then we get a lower high, but that's just congestive. And then we touch down here. So I do think the trend is off this low. Could be, I mean, could be. Could be like that. And that would explain we don't get a break here. Yeah, so I'll leave it like that. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. Either way, it works. So anyway, we sell off. And then we bounce, and we're just chopping around. I'm not crazy about any of this. It's just so congested. There's so much overlap. There's so much back and forth on both sides of the EMA. We do get a bounce here, and that's a second entry, and that's near the lows. So, I mean, but that signal bar is not great. And we're just bouncing, get a double test, but no signal bar. Because I'd probably be looking at this like a range like this. You got to move up into a range up here. Oh, that's tempting. That's a second entry right there. So after this big leg up, you do get a break and a move to a new high. Let's call that the channel. Break, move to a new high, but then you get a first entry, second entry right there. But we just went on this side of the EMA, so that's not ideal. We come back, we break lower, test the EMA, and then go lower. That looks pretty good, but it's just the first entry. Then we test that level again, so that kind of looks good. But with us being in a confirmed channel at that point, we're just coming off the lows of that channel. So I think that's aggressive. But then when you get this higher low back into the range, you see you get a first entry, second entry, and then it's a higher low. Super bullish bar, plenty of room to that midline. I like that. 43. So yeah, you got 2 points to that midline, plenty of room. Find some resistance at the highs, but then it just bounces, and then we come back in. Can't make the lows, we bounce, we go higher, and we form a range up here. And then we just sell off, and you do get first entry, failed second entry. I marked this red, but with all these dojis, I think you got to keep that green. especially because it looks like that looks like a channel. I mean, if you draw this as the channel, then yeah, then you're waiting for a new low, but it's definitely aggressive. So I do think this turns out to be a channel though, and you get a break. And this kind of looks like a second entry. I think that's a double bottom though. So maybe you take that one, but then you get this bounce. That's a double test off of the key entry point. I think you got to take that one. I marked it blue. It should probably be green, but I really like it. It's a green that I really like. And then they come back and they stop all those people out, and then it's just pretty much takes off after that. But we come up here, you got a first entry, second entry. I just don't like that we went below we've been going below the EMA so much. It's just not good trading really. More congestion, then we rock it up, and you get a first entry, second entry, and then you get a higher low. And I think that's where you need to jump on. And you can see a bunch of people like that. Let's see, maybe there's a different channel. Yeah, that's probably a channel. There, we rock it up. Huge move up. And then we make these lower highs. So that's a second entry right there. But this kind of looks like correction. You can see, I mean, and we're in no man's land in terms of the larger channel. So, and you're going into that midline. But then we bounce. You get a higher low, but unfortunately, I don't have a signal bar. And then it fails to come up here. Probably that midline has resistance, and we get a break. And we're just going sideways and nothing in here. And technically, this is a failure, but it went below the EMA. So maybe you take this one. This is a pretty darn strong move up, so perhaps you take that. Technically, that's a second entry. Come down here again, you're just correcting. You don't want to take this failure here. And that's pretty much it. So there's one last look at the day. I hope everyone had a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.